Okay, part two. If you will go in your textbook back to page 91, section 3.16, curves and isometric, and this will give an explanation of what I'm doing with this. And I've gone ahead and put in more lines than I really need because we're dealing with an arc with a consistent radius. So we don't need all of these lines, but I put in my major lines from, I'm going to use the center of this slot as my known point that I'm going to work forward from, and the edge of the object here I'm going to work to the right of. And so I drew a construction line at each of the major points. Okay, so this is at the start of the arc. This is the midpoint of the arc. That's the end of the arc where it joins back to this one. And in this line is the actual radius point of the arc, as you can see there. Okay, and so I did a set of lines for those, and I went ahead and printed it out so I'd have them right there in front of me to reference to. Okay, and then I came back to here and I drew those same lines. So I started from back here, center line of the slot, and I drew a line out and I copied it forward each of those 3 dimensions. And I did the same thing from this edge here, copied that construction line over those 3 dimensions. Okay, and what these give me is, if I extend those out, what it gives me is my points, my major points. So there's my point of intersection where it comes back into their tangent. That will be the midpoint of my arc. And then here's where they become tangent here. Now, if you zoom in really tight, they may be off just a hair. Okay. And so when I go ahead and trim everything, and extend that one on out. Okay, so there it gives me my tangent arc for that part. Okay, and I did the same thing back here. I drew these sets of lines based on this arc right here. I got the start, the finish, the midpoint, and the center of that arc. Okay. Did the same thing back here, did my offsets both ways. And like I said to start with, really all you need with these are the center points of your ISO circle. Okay, so you don't need all of those. I put them in so you could see where we're talking about with the things coming around. And then I drew my ellipse ISO circle based on that center point, and it comes back in there to those things. And let's see, I need a visible line there. So let me get back over to by layer, line from there out to that point. Now I can trim that up. I didn't trim it. Okay, now then let me turn off these construction lines. It just looks, do I have two lines there? I did. I did have two lines there. So let's extend that one on out. Okay. And so that's how I draw my tangent arcs there. And now that I can take this whole thing, I can copy them down. Let's put a line coming down that is, how thick is that? 0.44. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line here, come down 0.44, and then select all of these and copy down 0.44, and let's put in, let's just copy that because we need a tangent line. Turn off ortho mode. And now I don't want to hit to that intersection. I want to go to the midpoint of that arc, or the quadrant point, if you will. Got one more right there. And then back those right there, so I can do my fillet command. Oh, my radius was not set to 0. Okay, and so that's how we do that side. If you got questions, shoot us an email, come see us in the lab, okay?